historical financial information and other assurances and related services engagement. SQC as per this SQC, firm should establish a system of quality control designed to provide it with reasonable assurance that firm and its personnel comply with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirement. Applicability. SQC is applicable to all type of engagements, including engagement of related services. SQC1 applies to all CA firms. SQC1 deals with quality of firm level. SA 220 deals with quality at particular audit level. Some important definition: firm, sole proprietor, partnership or any entity of CAs. Engagement partner, full-time practicing CA in firm who is responsible for engagement. Engagement team, all personnel, engagement partner and staff performing engagements. Elements of a system of quality control. 6 elements are there. Firm system of quality control shall include policies and procedures addressing following elements. ഫോളോയിങ് എലമെൻസിനെ അഡ്രസ്സ് ചെയ്യുന്ന രീതിയിലായിരിക്കും എന്തുണ്ടാവേണ്ടത്, ഫിലിമിന് ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോൾ ഉണ്ടാവേണ്ടത്. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് കാരണം? ലീഡർഷിപ്പ് റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ഫോർ ക്വാളിറ്റി വിത്തിൻ ദ ഫേം, എത്തിക്കൽ റിക്വയർമെൻറ്റ്സ്, ആക്സെപ്റ്റൻസ് ആൻഡ് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ഓഫ് ക്ലയൻറ്റ് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് ആൻഡ് സ്പെസിഫിക് എൻഗേജ്മെൻറ്റ്, ഹ്യൂമൻ റിസോഴ്സസ്, എൻഗേജ്മെൻറ്റ് പെർഫോമൻസ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് റിവ്യൂ ആൻഡ് ഡോക്യുമെൻറ്റേഷൻ. 6th മോണിറ്ററിംഗ്. Leadership responsibilities for quality within the firm. Firm's leadership and the examples it sets significantly influence internal culture of firm to perform work that complies with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements. Following consideration shall be taken by leader, CEO or senior partner while upholding quality of firm. എന്താണ് ഒരു ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്? താഴെ പറഞ്ഞ കൺസിഡറേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും? ഒരു ഫേമിൻ്റെ ക്വാളിറ്റീനെ അപ്ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ആരാണ് ഇത് ചെയ്യുക? സീനിയർ പാർട്ട്ണറോ CEO അവരാണ് ചെയ്യുക. And the firm assigns its management responsibility so that commercial consideration do not override quality of the work performed. Second one, firm policies and procedures addressing compensation, promotion and performance evaluation with regard to its personnel are designed to demonstrate its overriding commitment to quality. Firm devotes sufficient resources for development of quality control procedures and policies. I will repeat. Following consideration shall be taken by leader while upholding quality of firm. എന്താണ് considerations? First one, firm assigns its management responsibility so that commercial consideration do not override quality of work performed. Firm policies and procedures addressing compensation, promotion and performance evaluation with regard to its personnel are designed to demonstrate its overriding commitment to quality. Firm devotes sufficient resources for development of quality control policies and procedures. Ethical requirements. Second one, ethical requirements relating to audit and review of financial information and other assurances and related service engagements are contained in the Code of Ethics. Fundamental principles of professional ethics: integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality and professional behavior. Code includes independence requirement for assurance engagement. Firm should establish policies and procedures too. Code includes independence requirement for assurance engagement. Assurance engagementsന് മാത്രം. എന്തിനു വേണ്ട? SRSന് വേണ്ട. Related services is not an assurance engagement. Firm should establish policies and procedures too. എന്തിനൊക്കെയാണ്? Communicates its independence requirements to its personnel. Identify circumstances and relationships that creates threats to independence and take appropriate action to eliminate those threats or reduce them to an acceptably low level by applying safeguards. For example, using same engagement partner or engagement over longer period may create familiarity threat. Safeguard to eliminate this threat include rotating the engagement partner. In case of an audit of financial statement of listed entities, engagement partner shall be rotated after a period not more than 7 years. That is mandatory requirement. At least annually, firm should obtain written confirmation of compliance with its policies and procedures on independence from all firm personnel. Third one, acceptance and continuance of client relationships and specific engagement. എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ഒരാളെ അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ഫേം ഷുഡ് എസ്റ്റാബ്ലിഷ് പോളിസി ആൻഡ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് ഫോർ ആക്സെപ്റ്റൻസ് ആൻഡ് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ഓഫ് ക്ലയൻറ്റ് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് ആൻഡ് സ്പെസിഫിക് എൻഗേജ്മെൻറ്റ് ടു പ്രൊവൈഡ് ഇറ്റ് വിത്ത് റീസണബിൾ അഷുറൻസ് ദാറ്റ് it will undertake or continue relationships and engagement only where it has considered the integrity of client, is competent to perform engagement and has capabilities, time and resources to do so, can comply with ethical requirements. Has considered the integrity of client, is competent to perform the engagement and has capabilities and time to resources to do so. Third one, can comply with ethical requirements. The matters to be considered with regard to integrity of client. With regard to the integrity of a client, matters that a firm considers include, and the first one, identity and business reputation of client's principal owner, key management and TCWG. Nature of client operations including business practices. Third one, information concerning attitude of client's principal owner, key management personnel and TCWG towards interpretation of accounting standards and internal control environment. Fourth one, Whether client is aggressively concerned with the maintaining firm's fees as low as possible. Fifth one, indications of inappropriate limitation and scope of work. Indication that client might be involved in money laundering or other criminal activities. Reasons for proposed appointment of firm and non-reappointment of previous firm. Matters to be considered with regard to capabilities and competency. In determining whether firm has capabilities, competence and time resources to undertake new engagement, matters that the firm considers include whether firm personnel have knowledge of relevant industries or subject matters. Firm personnel have experience with relevant regulatory or reporting requirements. Firm has sufficient personnel with the necessary capabilities and competence. Experts are available if needed. Firm would be able to complete engagement within reporting deadline. If firm obtains information that would have caused it to decline engagement, if that information had obtainable earlier, firm can consider the possibility of withdrawing from engagement and client relationship. Issues that need to be addressed before deciding to withdraw or policy and procedures to withdrawal from engagement and client relationship include following. Discussing with client's management or TCWG regarding action that firm might take based on relevant facts and circumstances. If firm determines that it is appropriate to withdraw, discussing with appropriate level of client's management or TCWG withdrawal from engagement and reasons for such withdrawal. Considering whether there is a professional, regulatory or legal requirement for firm to report withdrawal to regulatory authorities. Documenting significant issues, conclusions and basis for conclusions. Last one, human resources. Firm should establish policies and procedures to provide it with reasonable assurance that it has sufficient personnel with capabilities and competence necessary to perform its engagement performance. Firm should establish policies and procedures to provide it with reasonable assurance that engagements are performed as per professional standards and regulatory legal requirements. Review of engagement work. Normal review. More experienced engagement team members, including engagement partner, review work performed by less experienced team members. Reviewers consider whether work performed as per professional standards and regulatory and legal requirement. First point. Second one, significant matters raised for further consideration. Appropriate consultations have taken place and resulting conclusions have documented. Work performed is appropriately documented. Evidence obtained is sufficient and appropriate to support the report. Objectives of engagement procedures have been achieved. EQCR എന്താണ്? EQCR പരിപാടി എന്താണ്? EQCR ആരാണ്? Engagement Quality Control Review. Process of evaluation of significant judgments and conclusions made by engagement team before report is issued. Engagement Quality Control Reviewer. Any person CA who is not a part of engagement team with sufficient experience to evaluate significant judgments and conclusions made by engagement team. Requirement of engagement quality control review. Audit of financial statements of listed entity mandatory ആണ്. Other than listed entity optional ആണ്. Following aspects needs to be considered while performing engagement quality control review for audit of financial statements of listed entity. Engagement team evaluation of firm's independence in relation to specific engagement. Significant risk identified during engagement and responses to those risk. Judgments made about materiality and significant risk. Significance of corrected and uncorrected misstatements identified during engagement. Matters to be communicated to management or TCWG and regulatory bodies. Whether working papers selected for review reflect work performed for significant judgments. Appropriateness of report to be issued. Other points. This review does not reduce the responsibilities of EP. It is necessary to maintain objectivity of EQCR. Therefore, participation in engagement is to be avoided at all costs. Engagement partner may consult EQCR during engagement without compromising his objectivity. Differences of opinion. If there is a difference of opinion between engagement team, engagement partner and EQCR, report shall be issued only after resolution of differences. If recommendations of EQCR are not accepted by engagement partner, matter shall be resolved by following established procedures, like by consulting with another practitioner or firm or professional or legal or regulatory body. Engagement documentation, working papers. Assembly. Firm should establish policies and procedures to complete assembly of final engagement files on timely basis after engagement reports have been finalized. In case of audit engagements, engagement files shall be completed within 60 days after date of audit report. Safety and accessibility. Policies and procedures should be designed to maintain safe custody, integrity, accessibility and retrievability of engagement documentation. Retention. Engagement documentation has to be retained for sufficient period. In case of audit engagement, retention period is minimum 7 years from date of auditor's report. Ownership. Engagement documentation is the property of firm. Monitoring. Firm should establish policies and procedures to provide it with reasonable assurance that policies and procedures relating to the system of quality control are operating effectively. Quality control of engagements has to be monitored, taking into account following factors: entrusting the responsibility of monitoring process to a partner or other experienced person in firm, deciding whether quality control system of a firm has been effectively implemented, dealing with complaints and allegations against firm or its employees of non-compliance with professional standards or regulatory requirements by a person within or outside the firm. Complaints and allegations. For dealing with complaints and allegations, firm should establish policies and procedures to deal appropriately with complaints and allegations that work performed by firm fails to comply with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements, and allegations of non-compliance with the firm system of quality control. Second point, complaints and allegations may originate from within or outside the firm. They may be made by firm personnel, clients or other third parties. As part of this process, firm establishes clearly defined channels for firm personnel to raise any concerns without fear of reprisal. Firm investigates such complaints and allegations as per established policies and procedures. Investigation is supervised by a partner with sufficient experience and authority. If results of investigations indicate non-compliance with firm system of quality control, firm takes appropriate action.